Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be removing the silver from X-rays without any acid. I'm going to be using bleach. Now, I've done a video of this once before, a long time ago, and people don't seem to like going back through my videos, so I'm making another one. Now, my most popular video so far, out of the hundreds that I've made, is removing silver from CDs. But I think this is far better. There's more silver on X-rays than there is on CDs. And some of these, some I've found don't work, and that's probably either an MRI or a CT scan. I don't know how to tell what they are by looking at them. So it's just a matter of dunking these into the bleach, and if it comes off, it'll come off almost straight away. If nothing comes off, then I have to throw it in the bin because it's most likely CT or an MRI. Now I'm teaching my girlfriend how to do this. She's going to put the camera on. She's got a bucket full of bleach in front of her and a bucket of water next to it. So once she puts these in the bleach and all the silver comes off, and she can dunk it in the water to rinse it off. So she's got one in there to start it, and I'll pass the camera over now. And I'll come back once. We're not going to, no point showing every single piece of laminate. So she'll do some of them, and then I'll come back towards the end when they're finished, and we'll go to the next step from there. Alright, so it's been dunked in the bleach. So now I just dunk it in water, and you can see that it's completely see-through. There's no silver left on that in my just dunk it in the water to make sure that any of the silver solution comes off. And now they can go in the trash. It's that simple. Just do rinse, wash and repeat. Do that over and over and over until they're all done. If you try and do 2 or 3 at a time, you'll find they stick together and the bleach doesn't quite work properly. Depending on the strength of the bleach, you may need to sit in there for a little while, but generally it comes off straight away. And the ones I've noticed that don't work, you see our black sort of liquid dripping off it, but nothing really happens, it doesn't clear up. So, but this one here looks like it's working fine. Just needs to sit in there a bit longer. Just slowly clearing up. Slowly agitating it helps moving it in the liquid. If you use a really strong bleach, obviously this will happen a lot quicker. But the bleach I'm using here is just standard household bleach. There's no specific strength needed, just whatever you can get hold of. See that? Totally see-through. There's no point in boring you with hundreds and hundreds of pieces of X-ray. Do one more to show you. Some of them come off really quickly, some take a bit longer. Obviously got more silver on them. And if you're confused and you're wondering how that's silver when it's dark, silver reacts with light, so the X-ray film is coated in silver, and wherever the light doesn't show through, it goes black. Around it. So like the light can't pass through the bone, so the bone stays white, and the X-ray around it goes black because of the silver. So this will get weaker and weaker and weaker as time goes on. If you've got a lot of X-rays, you may find that you need to change the solution, put some more bleach in, or tip it out and use a new bottle or whatever. But you can get quite a few done before it weakens too much. Alright, so I want to show you the difference between an X-ray. See how there's no borders, it's just the dark image. And you'll see what I mean on the next one. So that's the X-ray. This is a CT. Can you see how it's like bordered off into squares? And there's writing on it. I don't know if you can see the writing on the camera, but you can see clearly that there's 4 squares here. There's CT scans, okay? It doesn't come off, the silver doesn't come off these. If anything, like a bluish coloured liquid comes off. So there's no point doing MRIs or CTs. So all you want is just a plain old image of, you know, someone's ankle or someone's knee or whatever. No borders, no writing, apart from where sometimes they might have like there's a little bit in the corner here. Or it might have an L or an R for left and right, but you can see the difference, right? So this is what contains silver. Now, I had a bit of a drama because my granddaughter came over and we packed all this away somewhere safe. We put it up on our desk freezer, our chest freezer, and somebody wanted to get into the freezer, so they took them back off the freezer, put them on the floor, and my granddaughter kicked over the bucket that had the water in it. Luckily it wasn't this with all the bleach, because that's where the majority of the silver is, but there was some silver in the water from when you're dunking these, right? And we ended up with silver solution all over the kitchen floor in the wooden floorboards. There's no way of getting it up. So we've lost a tiny bit of silver in the water, but most of it is in there. And it's been a couple of days since we did it, and it had settled, but obviously it's been stirred up again now. She's only got how many left to do?
Maybe 20?
About 20 to go. Just doing what you can see now, just dunking it. And you can see there's maybe you can see from here, there's white on this thing. It just needs dunking in some water.
I'll show them the new one.
So put a new one in there. Can you take the camera closer? As the solution gets weaker or more concentrated, you may need to leave it in a bit longer.
I've actually topped it up with more bleach.
Yeah.
It's dripping off now.
You can see a dark solution coming off. It's the silver. I mean, you could just leave it in there for a few minutes, or you could dunk it. It's entirely up to you. And you can see it's a lot clearer now than what it was when this first started.
There we go.
So we'll finish these last ones off, and we'll come back to the next stage. These 2 beakers have both got the silver in there. This one is the bleach. You can see the silver at the bottom. This one was the water wash, and luckily we had it in this container because my girlfriend came past with a lawnmower, and the lawnmower hit the beaker and cracked it, and all the water started pouring out into the dish. There won't be any solution or any silver in the water. It's all settled at the bottom. Not much, there's not much there, but every little bit helps. So I'm going to drain off the water, and then with a squirt bottle to squirt the remainder, whatever tiny bit of silver is in there, I'll squirt it into here and let it sit. But I'll first drain this off as well. I'll siphon this off, all the bleach. That I will filter because it's not exactly clear, and it should be clearer than that. So just in case there's any silver in suspension, it'll catch in a filter, and then the bleach can be used again for other things I need to do. But the water can just be poured out. When I get down to here, I'll then spray this little bit of silver into here, and then I'm just going to wash it and wash it and wash it over and over and over until it's all clean. And there will be the silver removed from X-rays without using acid. It's that simple. I'll get down to that point and show you. And the sediment, once it's washed and thoroughly cleaned, can be melted into silver. So for those of you who don't want to use acids, you could get to this point and then melt it. But I'm going to refine it with nitric acid. That'll be a separate video. This one's all about removing the silver without acid. So I'll get down to that point and I'll show you when I wash it. I finally collected all the silver. I had to use a few filters because the first one started to biodegrade, so I had to put that into a second one. Cotton ball, the whole lot's all in here. So now it's time to go and melt it. So I'm just looking at the bottom of the beaker and it looks like there's a tiny amount of silver that's made it through. Probably when the first filter degraded. But it's such a minimal amount, it's not worth trying to catch it now. I will refilter it and I'll just put that in my paper storage and treat that at a later stage. But for now, this melt dish I'm hoping is big enough. I don't like melting metal in a filter paper. I really hate doing that, because what always happens is the paper flies out and I wonder if there's tiny amounts of metal on the paper. There's another cotton ball in here which I'll get out as well. That will get burnt with it. Still a bit of water in there, that's okay. I prefer to melt metal when it's wet because then less chance of it blowing out. So now I'll go and melt it and see how much we got. Normally what I would do at this point in time is refine it. But as this video is about recovering silver without any acid at all, I'm just going to melt it up so you can see I haven't used any acid to get it. And I'll just refine it as a button. Whenever I'm melting metal, I like to use this fire insulation underneath the dish. Try and get as much of it around the dish as you can. What it does is helps to hold the heat in. If you've got it sitting like that, all the heat can escape, and depending on what you're trying to burn with, you might not get enough heat to melt it, but this way keeps all the heat in. So, but I'm using oxy LPG, and that's usually enough. So I just want a very low flame to start with. Until all the paper's burnt. Hopefully it won't blow out. Even though it's wet, it'll dry in no time with this heat. As it starts to burn, I try to put borax on there or something to keep it in there. I've got some borax sitting here, which I'll use when I need it. Wait till it dries out a bit first. And because it's such a low heat, it's going to take a little while. Once it gets all dried and has a crust on it, then I can crank the heat up and go a lot faster. And it looks like we're going to get a decent amount of silver. You never can tell. Sometimes you get a fair bit, sometimes you get a little bit. But it costs nothing. I mean, apart from a bottle of bleach, what's that, $2 or something? The Xrays have given to me. So the cost of the gas, I suppose, of gas and oxygen to burn it. I think if you had to pay for the Xrays, anytime you have to pay for EWASTE or anything like that, your chances of making a profit are pretty slim. You need to get things for free, I think. Depending on what it is. If you got a high silver content or a higher gold content and you get it at a good price, and you can make some money. But just general things, it can be hard. So it's getting a nice crust on it now. I'm just going to put a bit of borax on. I don't need too much. I'll just keep adding little bits as I go. The borax will also help to lower the melting point, as well as make it all stick to the dish. If you had matte gas, you could use matte gas, but again you would need to certainly keep the heat in the dish as best you can. The oxyacetylene or oxy LPG is usually pretty hot. And put a little bit more borax. Should be right to turn the gas up a fair bit in a minute. Excuse me. The borax will make a nice coating on top. Alright, so I'll crank the heat up a little bit. I'll leave it there for now, and I'll turn it up some more later. Just gradually turn it up as you need. I can see it all starting to form little balls of metal now. Not sure if it's coming up on camera or not. Little metal balls everywhere, so there's about 6 or 7 there. A couple of big ones here. Tons of tiny little ones. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm told that with silver, a little bit of it goes up in smoke. So the more you melt silver, the more you lose, apparently. From what I'm aware, that doesn't happen with gold, but I could be wrong. But I know for sure silver, if it's going to happen, it'll happen to silver more than it would for gold. It's quite a big ball of metal on top there. It's moving around. Another big ball just there. It's going down under the dish, under the paper. I hope this is coming through on the camera. Might try putting the goggles over the camera so you get a darker picture. Let me know in the comments if this helps. I don't even know if this is working or not. You see the balls on top there? There's heaps of them. I don't know if this is working, so I'll take it away again. Tell me in the comments if that was good, and if it was, then I'll know in the future. This thing gets heavy after a while. Sorry, knocking the camera around. This won't be pure by any means. I don't know if there's any other metals in amongst it on the X-rays. To my knowledge, it's only silver, but I don't know. Normally I would just refine it for the sake of it. But for those of you who want to get silver and don't want to use acids, this would be the best method, I would guess. Just melt it up and get it tested and see what's in it. But you can also do the same thing with CDs, DVDs and so on. I have a video I made a long time ago where I got silver from CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays using only bleach. It seems to be my most popular video. It gets watched over and over and over. I get a weekly report from YouTube saying how my channel's going and what's been watched, and every single week my CD video seems to have been viewed. So I'm going to revisit that one and do that again soon. Some of the information I put on there wasn't quite true. I've learnt more since that video, so I'll update the video soon. Pretty much the same procedure as what we did with the X-rays, just with CDs instead. It's melting nicely, but I'm going to put the heat up a little bit more. I don't think I need any more borax, that should be plenty. Judging by all the little balls of metal that I'm seeing, it might be a decent amount. I put it in a bath of HCl to boil it in the HCl, because if you do that with sulfuric, it can dissolve the silver. It's okay to do that with gold, but not with silver. So always wash them in HCl. It's got a few dirty marks on it from some burnt borax that was stuck to it. Same underneath. It's not the prettiest little button, but hey, it's a button. Now, some people would say, what a waste of time, all that work for that. Other people will say, hey, it's free silver, who cares? So make of it what you will. This is the little button that we got from all those X-rays, and we'll give it a weight now. Get my scales out. Well, these are doing things one-handed. I guess it's harder to clap one-handed. Alright. So for that effort we got 2.75 grams. I don't know what silver's worth. I think it's something like 80 cents a gram. Maybe a little bit more, maybe over $1 a gram. But it costs nothing except a couple of dollars worth of bleach. And still got all that bleach, so it's not like it's, you know, worked out dollar for dollar, because I can still use the bleach for other things. So yeah, if you think that's a good value, then it's a good value. If you don't, I just hope you found this video entertaining. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.